20 tonight.
If a flood similar to last June's hits Calgary again, there's not much they can do to stop it. That admission comes as the city updates us on flood preparations.
Gary Boprovitz joins us by the Bow River tonight. And Gary, the city is basically telling home and business owners it's up to you to brace for any flooding.
And those owners are not impressed with the city's plan, Linda. Some of the city's suggestions include putting outdoor speakers on fire halls to broadcast warnings and advising people to check the weather forecast. Bottom line, it looks like the city's response this year is going to be just like last year. The June 2013 flood forced more than 100,000 people to evacuate. And if the 1 in 100 year event happens again, you can expect the same response again, according to the city, because a flood of that magnitude cannot be stopped.
I would estimate that it's going to be very difficult to protect them. Other properties, you might be able to do a little bit of work with your own personal sandbags to protect, some basement infiltration or whatever else. But we're really recommending the same things we've recommended every year, which is take your valuables to a higher level, do the things that you can do to protect your property, and be prepared to evacuate when we ask you to evacuate.
People in vulnerable communities are being discouraged from putting up their own sandbags or building temporary berms. The city claims they would wash away, creating more barriers that would make the flooding worse. Residents near the rivers are not fully recovered from flood 2013. Now they're facing a stress-filled spring flood season in 2014. Many flood victims in these inner city communities are still rebuilding their homes. Others have taken the government buyout. The house behind me, it's been purchased by the province and is going to be demolished. But for those who are staying behind, the anxiety level is still very high. These residents complain the city plan is just more PR.
We're demanding some action. We want to see some boots on the ground. We want to see some sandbags. We want to see some flood walls being put up. And we want to be able to know that there is a plan in place for whatever comes about.
The city says it will have better forecasting, a new flood prep website, and information videos to be ready soon. But permanent solutions like a proposed diversion tunnel from Glenmore Reservoir to the Bow River, that'll take years to build. And of course the problem is that the spring flood season is going to be here in a matter of weeks. City officials admit they're nervous. They say they cannot predict if we're going to get hit by a flood, and homeowners say that gives them no comfort at all. Gord, Linda?
Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
Well, just a few weeks into spring, and parts of Alberta are already experiencing flooding. Concerns have been raised in Airdrie tonight, where the water is running high in Nose Creek. In some areas, it's spilling over the banks onto pathways in Nose Creek Park. Airdrie officials, though, say it's not unusual for Nose Creek to overflow. One look at Rocky View County from our Global One News helicopter, and you can see overland flooding is already an issue there. Homes and buildings surrounded by water. There are a number of road closures in that county, as well as in Wheatland County. We have a list on our website.
An overflowing creek led to a voluntary evacuation order in Peace River last night. As many as 20 businesses in the town's core were affected by the flood. Part of a highway was also closed, but by this morning the water was receding. Alberta Environment issued flood watches today for the Red Deer and Athabasca basins. We'd like to hear from you tonight. Are you concerned about a repeat of the June 2013 flood? That's our web poll. You can find it at globalnews.ca/Calgary.